What's going on, everyone? Talon back here, and today I'm going to be giving my first impressions on the beta itself. I will do a final wrap-up thing of it after I've kind of gone over what I felt when I first played the beta itself, just how the game felt in general, just some general pros and some cons that I personally found myself, and then, because I'm also talking with some other YouTubers and everything, and we're trying to go through some stuff that maybe we agree on, we disagree on, and obviously people are going to have different things that they think that, you know, should be changed or not should change, and at the same time, we don't know every single detail about the game, and I'll get into that in one of my cons actually, which might actually just be negated, and it might not even matter or anything like that. So don't worry, there's gonna be plenty of stuff coming up in the within the week or two as of the recording of this video. But nonetheless, I thought we'd get started in here, and let's just go first with the pros and let's go with the cons. Let's get the good news, right? There's tons of good stuff when it comes to the game. And first off, my first thing when it comes to this match or to this game itself is it is fun. It is just fun to jump in, grab 3 characters, jump into a match, and just have a blast. It is so fun. Sometimes the combos may seem simple sometimes after you've gotten used to the game, but the game, I have not played a game like this in so long where I'm just like, I just literally am giggling the entire time. Even if I get my butt handed to me sometimes, I'm just like, you know what? Good on you, sir. Good on you, ma'am. Let's do it again. Let's go again. I want another match. Let's do this. It is so much fun, especially when jumping in with some of my other friends who are also YouTubers. I jumped in the first time. If you guys got my stream or not, I'll be breaking that up in some of the highlights kind of thing, so I'll probably do like a stream highlight of it. But I was able to jump into a stream with both my friend Mayo, Riku the Best, and Gaming Claw, and I think D3 was in there, but I personally couldn't fight him the first day at least. But it was just so much fun. I mean, we're like, all the time when we're playing, we're like, oh man, good combo, or oh man, that's gonna get me. And then after that, we're like, man, what is life after this game? It was just so much fun. And you know, yeah, you could technically call it the honeymoon stage of the game, but it is so, I mean, even someone like Rhymestyle and Nanogenics who have played this game way before I have, they are still enjoying it to this day. It's just like, man, it is just so much fun. So I hope you guys can, if you guys got a chance to get into the closed beta, I really hope you had got it. And don't forget, we have the open beta coming in January, and then the game releases in February. Just get a chance. If you're skeptical about the game, just give it a chance. Just play the game first. If you don't like it after that, okay, that's fine. You know, it's for some people, it's not for others. So, but it's overall, it is just really, really fun. My next pro though has to go to the fact that it is easy to get used to, at least in the current state of it. And I'm going to get into that in one of my cons actually about why I think that might be the case. But overall, you can just jump in, pick a character, and you can start going. And I've seen many people, you know, get supers off pretty well. Obviously, if you've never played a fighting game before, maybe you're trying to figure out how to do a super, so it might take a little bit of time. But overall, it was really easy to get into. You know, after a couple matches, I was running, I was flying in, I was dragging, rushing in and everything. You know, I was getting key blasts off, combat hall, the whole 9 yards. And it was just really fun. Again, I'm going to keep saying it was really fun. Just coming back to that fun fact. I mean, that's what a game should be in the end. Is it fun to you? If it's not fun, well, then don't play it. But if it's fun to you, keep playing it because it's really fun. So, yeah. So, anyways, it was pretty easy to get used to, and I definitely like that about it. And that can help maybe bring in some newcomers that, you know, maybe are scared of pure fighting games. You know, these hardcore fighting games you hear about, like Street Fighter and all that kind of stuff. This can kind of help you edge into that because it takes some of those mechanics, but at the same time, it also does use some mechanics from something like Budokai 2 and Budokai 3 way back in the PS2 days and everything like that. So, you know, I think if you've ever skeptic of going into a fighting game like this, give it a try. It's actually not too bad, you know, if I do say so myself. So, the next thing I did like about the beta, despite a few server problems, at least on the PS4 side, Xbox, I know, unfortunately, it was not the greatest for you, and I think that more comes down to just, you know, this game's developed here in Japan, and Japan and Xbox don't have the greatest relationship, so I'm not really sure on that why. From what I heard, even Xenoverse 2 had the same issues with the servers and everything, so hopefully they have that fixed by the open beta. I'm not really sure. But in terms of just finding a server, it was really easy. You know, you could pick your spot around the world, North America, Asia, and Oceania, Europe, things like that, and then you just picked from, you know, a certain region. So, for example, I could go Asia, then I could go Japan, or Singapore, or Middle East, and then there was a list of at least 30 servers per country at least, and it was just like, okay, this is pretty good. You know, it was easy to find a match. If you and your friend wanted to do a match just by yourselves, you could jump in right there, just pick something that's empty, and boom, just go. And so we did that, a few of us. Or, you know, I know some people were also streaming it on Sunday when it was going, or sorry, Saturday when it was going around, and then they were able to just be like, okay guys, anyone who wants to join from the beta, I am in this server on this region, and just boom and go. So in terms of finding the server, okay, this is finding the server. It was pretty easy, and it was pretty good to go. So, and one extra thing I do want to add is that anytime the servers went out or they were in maintenance, you could still do a trial run, which is really cool, where they randomly selected 3 characters for you to fight against. It was basically kind of like training mode, but not to that extent. But it was nice to be able to try different characters out if you were just, you know, if you decided to try, okay, you know what, I'm gonna try and master Goku as best as I can, or I'm gonna master Vegeta or something like that. So it did give you a chance to try some others out without having to, you know, damage your record or anything like that, if that's something you care about. So that was something really good right there. And then something else that was a really big positive for me, at least, was that though there was a lack of modes, you know, you always hear people saying, why is there a training mode? Why isn't this? Why isn't this? It's like, this was a closed beta. This was meant for them to knock out the issues with the servers and everything. So in terms of that, I give them a thumbs up. I think for the most part they did it. I'm not sure about, again, on the Xbox side of things, but for the most part, they did what they, you know, the point of the beta was to get feedback. It was to see how the servers would handle and everything. And again, for the most part, it handled just fine. All that stuff about, you know, training modes and offline and single player, all that stuff, that will be in the full game and everything. This is Arc System, where they've done these games before. They're not noobs at this. This is not their first game that they've made. All those modes are going to be in there. It's going to be okay. So if you're one of those people that are kind of criticizing it for that, don't worry, there's going to be more of it. You know, the beta will probably have, again, just simply the online modes with maybe the training mode, and that's about it. But other than that, you know, everything else will be in the full release of the game. So, another thing that I really want to give a positive to when it comes to this beta and everything was the fact that in terms of the button inputs at the current state of the game, pretty much every character was the same. It was going to be your light, heavy, medium attacks, and then your, I think the technical term is your fireball move, which I know it's a little weird when it comes to playing a Dragon Ball game, because you think that's your key blast, but I guess the technical term for most fighting games is your fireball move, fireball button or something like that. But nonetheless, so every single character, basically, you could do the same input and it would do some kind of move. However, because each character is unique in some way or fashion, then they're going to be moving differently. So for example, what we refer to as quarter circle forward, okay, so if you're standing and your character is facing to the right side and you start down on your controller and then you move it quarter circle to the right so that you end going towards the right, and then you press, say, R2, that is how you can do one of your super attacks and everything like that. If you do that with Goku, it's going to be like a Kamehameha. If you do it with Vegeta, it was a big bang attack. However, there were other characters where it wasn't a beam attack, it was something else. For example, if you did it quarter circle back and everything, so with Goku, it did its instant transmission into his Super Saiyan 3 Kamehameha. However, if you did it with the androids, on the other hand, they would do a combo move, but they only moved a short distance forward. And it was more meant to be able to be used in a combo already. If you did it just standing still and you didn't reach the opponent, they could easily counter you and really hit you for some big damage. So it's something you really had to keep an eye on. So the way I like to look at it is it kind of reminded me of Super Smash Brothers. If you ever played Super Smash Brothers, we all had our A, you know, I'm going off the GameCube controller at least. These are your A moves, which is up A, down A, side A, and then for B, you had up B, down B, and side B. You know, and then obviously standard B and standard A. That was the same for every single character in that game, or those games, depending on how many you played. But overall, the way each character played was different. Obviously, playing someone like Yoshi compared to Marth, or Roy compared to Mario, they are completely different characters, okay? So this is personally the way I looked at it, at least. Obviously, I know there's some differences and everything, especially with some of the button input commands for doing ultra moves and everything like that. I know that's not exactly like Super Smash Bros. By any means, and that's kind of where the style of Arc System Works comes in. You know, things like Guilty Gear and BlazBlue and everything. That's where that kind of style came in. So that is something I definitely noticed, and it felt good, you know. And when I can play a game or go through an entire session of 3 hours and not be bored because it's just the same inputs for each character and everything, but it's still fun to go through each one. It was just, it was really refreshing, and maybe it kind of reminded me of playing Smash a lot. Unfortunately, we don't have a Smash on the current Switch system. Can we get that Switch in? Can we get that Wii U import of Smash Brothers? That'd be really nice, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah. And then the last thing that I wanted to touch on that I found a positive was that matches didn't take forever. You know, they gave you a lot of time to play, and with 3 characters, you might think that, oh, a match is going to take a while, but the matches are so fast-paced that it didn't matter. You were basically, I mean, I think my average match lasted for like maybe 3 minutes or so, give or take. I'm not really sure on that one. But nonetheless, it was, matches were fast, they were constant, and then, you just jump into your next one. But I am going to get into a bit of a con on that part right there in a minute here. So, but those are most of my pros. I probably missed a few that I will cover in future videos this week, but in everything that I can remember up to this point, because I'm just so hyped and I'm so sad that the beta's gone now, those were my, positives that just stuck with me, and I really liked it and everything. So, but there are some cons to it personally that I found, and I was talking with a few other YouTubers and a few other just friends of mine who got into the beta and everything, and we could, for the most part, we agreed on all these, at least to some extent of this. So the first con that I have to say is that some of the combos felt a little easy to pull off, and what I mean by that is so for example, one of the guys that I like to main was Vegeta, okay? And so again, I talked about having a light, medium, and heavy buttons to do certain attacks and everything. However, what you could do though, is, for example with Vegeta, is that if both me and my opponent are standing still and I start to press the square button, most combos coming from a, BlazBlue type of game or Guilty Gear type of game, you'd mostly want to go into a combo of doing like light attack, medium attack, and heavy attack, and then like quarter circle or something, or however you might want to do that combo and everything. But with this, it was just simply press square about 3 times, and then you do some like really heavy impact move. It wasn't pressing another button like a heavy attack. The heavy looking move was used with your light attack button, and then it's automatically comboed them into an air combo, and then you just simply keep hitting that button a bunch of times, and then you knock them down. Or I think for Goku especially, if you hit just simply triangle at the end of the, not like quarter circle triangle or anything like that, but if you just simply hit triangle, again, I'm not sure because I actually didn't really play Goku that much. I more played Vegeta, but you could do like this multi-hit kick. You've probably seen it plenty of times on gameplay, and then you went into an automatic Kamehameha right there. So I know some people were kind of like, okay, what's going on here? This is supposed to be that bridge between a casual fighter and a serious fighter and everything, which is great. Again, I love that aspect of it, but it was a little weird to come playing from something from BlazBlue and Guilty Gear and then go into that. But that does get me into the point that this could have been a build and the control scheme of what's called the stylish control scheme. And what I mean by that is if you've played Guilty Gear or BlazBlue, there's usually 2 types of ways that you can play. They're given an option to use a technical layout and a stylish layout. A stylish layout is kind of more, I guess, casual is what I would call it. I don't want to use that word, but it's the only word I can really think of, where it's a lot simpler to pull off combos and get flashy moves and everything, where technical is really using all of your half circles, quarter circles, full circles, however whatever the combo might be coming out to. So if that is the case, if this beta is just simply using one of those styles right there, and then they're going to have more of a technical style in the game when it's fully released and everything, then this could be null and void. There's no point in me even talking about it anymore, but that is something that I noticed when it came to playing this beta and everything. So again, that's just something I picked up on. So hopefully that is the case. If that is, then great. Some people like playing the more stylish style where you don't have to really use many combo inputs. Others prefer the more technical thing, and there will be game modes that cater to that where you can only use technical and only use stylish and everything. So the next thing that I found really weird, unfortunately, if you noticed back at the beginning of the video, I said it was easy to find a server. What was not easy was getting into a match. And what I mean by that is you would go into the rink and the center where the fights would be going. You see little chibis, characters of yourself. You'd be around this little circle here. And then in the center of the dojo, essentially, is where you'd be, you see people fighting and everything. There were times, though, where there were about 8 people or so around the outside of the ring. And there was no one in the inside, or only 2 people fighting, and nobody else was getting into a match. Like, I was on Discord talking to my friends. I'm like, have you guys found a match yet? Nope, not me. Nope, how about you? So it was like, okay, I know, again, this came down to the server thing, so again, this could be addressed and everything, but it's just like, kind of weird since the beta was purely online for the most part, so that was definitely something I noticed there, so yeah. And then something else, I guess my last little gripe, essentially, was that I found that certain supers did not really use that much ki. So what I mean by this is that there were, what I could at least find, where there were 3 different types. You had the kind of your ultra combo, your ultra super, you had your forward super, and then you had like your in combo super. So what I mean by that is, again, we'll go back to Goku here. So Goku, if you started doing a combo and you did the Kamehameha, or if like Vegeta, I could use the Big Bang if I wanted to, then it wouldn't really use that much ki. And maybe that was because when you do a combo, you gain a lot of ki back. And then doing one of these basic forward combos, so like quarter circle, forward, and then R2 to do a Big Bang with Vegeta again, it's supposed to take up 1 bar of energy. but it doesn't take that much to get that energy bar back. And so you can spam a lot of these attacks and everything, especially if you get really good with it. Some of them, obviously, yes, you can block, you know, you can just sit there going block, 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 but at the same time, it can really catch you off guard sometimes, or you can definitely feel like it's getting spammed, and I don't want to be that kind of, you know, whiny person who's just like, oh man, they're just spamming Kamehameha the entire time, but there was something I did notice sometimes. So the only thing I want to say against, I don't want to obviously make those kind of combos harder, and again, this could just go back to the fact of, you know, was it a stylish type of gameplay, you know, style in terms of the layout compared to a technical layout. But maybe have those forward moves use a little bit more ki. Maybe a bar and a half instead of a bar or something like that. I noticed just something like that. Or for example, I remember I was playing Zen personally, and he was Frieza, and he was doing this death. He wasn't doing the death ball, but he was doing that thing where he like kind of, you know, jumps up. He puts his hands up by his legs, and he kind of shoots his little ball. It goes towards the ground and then shoots forward at you. You could basically spam that as much as he wanted to. And I don't remember, at least to my knowledge, I have to look back at my gameplay, but I'm pretty sure it did not really use up any of his ki bar. And that dude he spammed that a lot. So you know, something like that, maybe those type of moves and everything, you let those use a little bit more ki, or if they don't use any ki, let them use some ki. And then for something for basic like Goku's Kamehameha and everything, let it use a bar and a half, maybe to 2 bars, because again, it's not hard to get your ki back, especially if you can get into a combo. I can easily gain about 2 bars, sometimes 3 bars, depending on the combo that I get, and then boom, I can use a super, no problem. It's just like, oh, well, I just use a super, into a combo, into another. So, you know, it was really easy, essentially, like that. And again, this could just be the fact of, it was more of the stylish style gameplay compared to the technical. I'm not really sure. So that was one thing I did notice like that. The back alts, those are totally fine that use 3 ki bars. Those are, I don't see any point in changing those, honestly, unless you, of course, disagree with me. But that is just personally my gripes that I found with it. And it's kind of just the cons and everything. Again, completely could be changed. You know, obviously this game has a long time until it's taken out, so, or is out for us to try and everything, but nonetheless, those are my pros and my cons on the beta personally myself. I do have another video, a couple other videos that I want to be doing on this topic and everything, but overall, I had a blast. This is day 1 buy for me, no matter what, so I cannot wait. So yeah, so let me know, you guys, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. As always, did you enjoy watching the beta? Did you enjoy in the beta if you're able to get into it? And are you excited about it? Are you still skeptical about it? Let me know down in the comments below. As always, leave a like if you liked the video, subscribe if you happen to be new, and until next time, everyone, I will see you in the next one.